Hi everyone, welcome back to Colouring Kid. Today I'm going to be concluding my mini series that I had on my channel, which was how to make a colour palette or pick a colour palette, and so this is part 2. Just as a mini disclaimer, I still have a cold and I'm not 100%. I'm trying to muddle through at the moment, and I mean I don't stay off school for a cold or anything, but you know it is what it is at the moment, and I have water and a coffee here, so I may need to take a drink at some point. So we're going to get started. I'm just going to move the light over here again. There was a really big glare on my computer, so we're going to get started. So the picture that I'm going to be showing you, how to pick a colour palette for, or at least part of the picture, is this one. So this is the 4 seasons page. So I'm going to do the spring one, or part of the spring one. So spring, summer, autumn, winter. So I'm going to show you a few different techniques that you can use. And I'd just like to say that this is my personal opinion on how I would pick a colour palette. So, you can pick one however you want to. This is just how I would do it if I wanted to pick a colour palette. So I have to be honest, I don't usually pick colour palettes, fixed colour palette for a picture a lot of the time. I've done a couple of pages like that, which you may have seen. So this one, I did pick a colour palette for, and it was fixed, and I am happy with how that turned out. And I didn't use any green. And then this one, I researched the flowers and used those colours to make the colour palette. So that's quite similar as well. But lots of these, I haven't done a colour palette for at all. I kind of just wing it a lot of the time. This, all I knew was that I wanted to make this look like cherry blossom, and I searched the birds of paradise. Everything else I just did, and I like that one. Again, this one I just wing it, and I do like how it came out. So there's really, it's not the only option. You don't have to pick a colour palette for every page. You can do a lot of other things, which is just going by what you feel like and things like that. So one of the ways that you can pick colour palettes, as I said, is to just wing it. Or you can use a reference book. So like this one that I showed in my last video, Wildflowers of Britain Month by Month, Margaret Skene Wilson. So because I know this is going to be a seasonal page, if you know about seasonal months, obviously you've got December, January, February that are winter months, and then you've got March, April, May that are the spring months. So I'm going to find March here, the start of it anyway. Here we go, so this is the start of March. So I would just flick through here and just look at some of the flowers that I might want to do. So if I was picking a page like this one, for example, I know that it's got lots of these different purples on, and I wanted to do a purple page, maybe with a bit of green as well. I could take one of these pages, use the different types of purples along with this orangey colour and the green, and then that would be my colour palette, like that. So that's what you can do. The other thing you can do, which would be my preferred technique, just because I've done it quite a lot, is to search up, in the search engine bar on Google, different colour palettes. So I have made just a mini PowerPoint to show you some of the colour palettes I found for the different seasons. So I am only going to be showing you one season. Oops, it's just gone off. Come on. And it's just gone off. Okay, it's coming back on. Right, let me just move out of the way because it's... So, yeah, as I was saying, you can go on Design Seeds, or you can go on Pinterest, or you can just simply search up the different colour palettes. So, sorry, I just have to put my password in. Or simply search up the colour palettes. So you can do, for example, spring colour palettes, summer colour palettes and things like that. So you're not just limited to certain websites that have them, the colour palettes. You can just search up, broadly. So, for example, this one here, this is a Pantone Spring 2015 colour collection. So there are lots of things that come up. So yeah, these are the spring colour palettes. Feel free to pause the video at any time if you want these ones. Zoom in here. So these are just some examples that I found. We come into autumn. And obviously I would probably lighten these colours up. So they are just a few examples. Now the colour palette I'm going to be showing you is this one. So I'm going to take these 5 colours here, show you how I would go about picking the colours out for this. And I'm not saying these are going to be the only colours that I use for the spring section, it's just going to be some of these colours. So this is just an example. I'm not going to do any colouring today, it's just going to be how I pick everything. So I'm just going to go and grab my mini pencil case and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I've got it because I know it's got a colour that I need to use. So we're going to get started. I've just got this pad here which I'm going to use to jot some colours down. And I've also got my swatch book. So just for ease, I'm going to use Prismacolors. Now in my pictures, as you know, I use a lot of different brands. So I'm not just going to limit myself to Prismacolors when it comes to the actual picture. This is just, for ease and for people viewing the video. So I'm just going to take a drink. Oh, that's better. My throat was a bit sore. So I'm going to show you here the colours that seem most similar to this pink here. There's Grey Lavender, Deco Pink and Pink Rose. So I'm just going to grab those colours and then show you, what they look like. And then in terms of the other colours, I'm going to pick them out, show you how they look, and then, show you what I would do. So typically for each colour, I would pick maybe 3, 4 or 5 colours, just so that I have a range of colours within one. So I might end up with 15 colours for this colour palette, for example. So, I'm just going to move my book. And I'm going to move my computer to the side, and we will pick the colours together. Now, it's not always easy. Sometimes it's a lot harder to pick colour palettes because some ranges don't have a whole lot of colours, but Prismacolor is quite lucky in the sense that they do have quite a lot of colours that are unusual. So I'm just going to move my other case. So this, for me, as the example, would be a colour palette for a whole picture. So I'm going to find those colours, and then I know that I've got the Deco Pink in this case. Yeah, perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick all of the colours out with you now. So now we're on to the darker pink. Sorry. So I'm going to go with hot pink, pink and processed red. And I don't use processed red a lot, so it's going to be interesting. And I know that I've got pink here. Now moving on to the yellowy colour. So, let's go with Jasmine, Cream and Deco Yellow. And we've got turquoise. So, got lots of turquoise colours here. Okay, light aqua. Where's my sky blue light? We've got those colours. I'm actually picking 3 for each, just so that it's a bit easier. And we've got now the deeper blue. Okay. I'm going to go with light cerulean blue, non-photo blue and blue slate. I will go over these in a minute. And maybe Blue Lake too. So we've actually got 4 for that one. Okay, so I've picked my colour palette out and I'm going to show you on paper what they look like, and then we will compare and contrast between the colours. So just got a pad here, and I'm just going to zoom in, you know, just so that you can see them all properly. So this is going to be very rough, so this would probably, I don't know if I would do, you know, like final outcomes of anything, but I'd probably just stick with what colours I have on here, or I would use my tester swatch book, you know, and just go from there. So the colours that I picked out, and I'm going to see if I can just put the computer in frame for you. Oops, I just put it on my light. Okay, I'm just going to move my light back. So I'm just going to move the camera so you can see, and the glare is terrible. So this pink here, I'm going to move this. So for the furthest left, I picked out Deco Pink, Grade Lavender and Pink Rose. So if it will turn back on, there we go. I'm just going to show you what they look like held up against the colour. And they're not going to be perfect, no colour is going to be absolutely perfect, but it's just a good idea to see, okay, these are the colours that I have chosen and I think they will work for the picture. So these colours here. So this is the Deco Pink, the Grade Lavender and the Pink Rose. And for me, the closest colour is probably the Grade Lavender. This light is just not happy. So I would probably go with Grade Lavender or mix it with the other two, which I can do. So you could just layer it on top, and that might be the way to go if you do want the exact colour. So that's what it looks like mixed. So I mean, not a huge difference, but there is some difference. So now for the darker pink, I picked 3 colours again, which are all quite different from each other. We have hot pink, processed red and pink. And you can do so many more colours. You don't need to be minimal if you don't want to. It's just, you know, what you prefer. You could just stick with 5 colours and just use 5. So these are the 3 colours. We've got the processed red, hot pink and pink. And from what I've got here, this pink is somewhere in between the processed red and the hot pink. So if I was to layer these up, which I'm just doing now for you, you would end up with something closer. So this, which is a lot closer. So you can get the desired colour if you want to layer them up. So the yellows, we have jasmine, cream and deco yellow. Personally, I don't need to colour these to know what it looks like, because I have used these colours a lot of times, so for me it wouldn't be necessary. So this yellow is somewhere in between, again, jasmine and cream, so if I was to layer them up, you would see that you could actually get a lot closer to the colour. Like that. Again, we've got the turquoise blues, which are all quite different. One's actually more of a green than blue, but that's fine because you want some variety in it if you want to get the colour. So these are the blues that I picked out, which were light aqua, light green and sky blue light. And finally we have the deeper blue here, and I picked out 4. So we've got blue slate, blue lake, non-photo blue and light cerulean blue. So obviously you can't see me colouring these at the moment, which I apologise for. But they are the 4 blues compared to the blue there, and to me the blue lake seems the closest in colour. So if I was to pick just 5 colours out of the 16 that I chose, the colours that I would probably go with are these ones. So I would pick Grade Lavender, Hot Pink, Jasmine, Light Aqua and Blue Lake. So you can easily just pick 5 if you want to. So you could pick 3 or 4 from each and then deduce which one's the best for that particular colour that's on the screen. So this is a colour palette. So you can either leave it small or reasonably big. It's your choice. To me, I would leave it big just so that I have more options for blending and things like that, and then I don't get bored just using the same colours and it looks, a bit repetitive. So what I would do now is transfer these over into the page, and then I would have the colour palette. So I'm not going to do any colouring for you. This is just going to be a section of my page possibly, that I might use, which is, just an example. So I hope this has helped. I hope you now have more of an idea of how you can pick a colour palette for a complete page. Complementary colours together, but are also very different. So yeah, I hope this has helped you. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try this technique, if you haven't really thought about colour palettes before in your pages. And yeah, I will see you in the next Colouring Kid video. Bye everyone!